readers. You can be standing on the other side, you're seeing a 6 as a 9, and I'm seeing the 9 as a 6, like different perspectives.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm saying that we're always going to see things differently based on our backgrounds. But because I see a 6 as a 9 and you don't see it like that, it doesn't mean that you are wrong, and it does not mean that I am right. It just means that we have different perspectives based on that reason of our upbringing. But we can always come to an agreement by at least trying to understand each other, where you're coming from, and I could learn something from that, and you can learn something as well. At the bottom of the corner, I placed the crocodile as part of the creativity to answer you.
See it? Yes.
Yeah, so behind a crocodile, what I know is that if you've been to the river and have seen a crocodile from a distance, you'll actually relax and think, it's too far. But within a minute, it will be slowly coming closer to you and you'll just see it there. So I was saying to the readers, if really you maintain your focus in life, you will get to where you want to be. So I mixed up the encouragement part of it with that creativity from my observation to say, this is how I'm going to bring up the story to bring out the message.
Vusiwana bzichava mavoko. Viki na viki hi ku tisela nana leyi nga tshameki hi mavoko. Nana yo chava ku tsongola xa van'wana. Gazatainment hi burisana na vanhu hinkwavo lava endlaka ku hambana.
Okay. Hello Gazatainers, welcome once again ka episode yin'wanyani lo one iphem lo duma mic no hold that the conversation let it ignite. And in today's episode nimkhomele someone who made the impossible to be possible. I'm talking about someone who released a whole novel during Karwa lockdown. Well, in abangwanyana arga lockdown, she was busy writing up her thoughts. And today in studio nimkhomele Muhluri Interest Mathebula. Welcome to our podcast, Sissy. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for hosting me. I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm very fine. Writing a book, it's lockdown, 2021, right? I got lockdown during that time. And in Abangwanyani, we were just in our homes, sitting comfortably, and you were not resting. I would like us to go from first, does it come with your upbringing, or it's just something that you developed along the way?
It actually comes from birth, I assume.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something that is inbred, and then you just have to come to a point of realization, go, this is where I belong. So upbringing can contribute in giving you ideas as to what you want to write about. So for me, it's been something that's been there from when I was a little child, because I remember in grade 3, I started primary school in Gauteng, for Gauteng. I mean, I was coming from Limpopo. So I started in grade 2, and when I came to Gauteng, I started in grade 2, sorry. When I went to grade 3, I started writing letters to the teacher, and she was quite impressed. So when I go back to that thought, she would always pick up my letters in the assembly and say that she's very impressed. Because the first time at 9 years, I wrote something like, it was an old woman, she was going on pension. So I wrote, Mrs. Cooper, you were like the roots of the school, and now since you're leaving, the tree is gonna wither and things like that. So to think back for a 9-year-old, that was too much, and I think that's what impressed her. So I think that's where my gift started.
Okay. Yeah. Now I'm way over 18. I don't know what wither means. So for a 9-year-old, according to me, and it's very good. You had some people to just push you and nurture you into the right path, I can say. Because really, it's something else. I'm sure you also know this. Interest in something, and there's no one who's there to back them up or applaud them for their works. And so it means shout out to Miss Cooper for realizing and seeing you, right? So the book itself, as I said, it was during COVID when you released your novel. What were your thoughts exactly, the creative process of coming up with the book?
The book initially started 5 years before the lockdown.
Okay.
When I published, that was when I had the advantage to raise finances, because for some reason I didn't want anyone to pay for me. I felt like if it doesn't become a success, they'll be like, you wasted our money and all that. So I wanted to explore with my own money. So I started way back in 2015, a year after matric, and that was because I couldn't go to varsity. So I thought, let me find something else that I can do that can sustain me. Not knowing that I was actually getting channeled to what I was initially supposed to do, because I wanted some courses in math and all that just because I was good in numbers as well. But being good at something doesn't necessarily mean that's your talent.
Thanks
so
for that.
When lockdown started, when 2020, right?
I think it was 2020 March.
Yeah, so that was when I had my first job as an assistant educator. So I didn't want to do teaching, honestly. But the principal was like, if you don't have papers for teaching, if you're not going to register, we're sending you out of the school. So for some reason, I really needed the money. So I stayed and registered for the teaching and majored in languages. And then I developed my love through that. I'm like, so I'm going to stay here. This is where fate seems to be channeling me. Then I published in 2021 at Joburg Theatre during the lockdown. So the people were around less than 50 because of the restrictions. So yeah.
When you were launching your book?
Yes, at Joburg Theatre, 2021 March.
Joburg Theatre is big. That's something.
Yeah.
That's something. You did that. Okay. The question, let's go back to the question. Now, I want to know, I want to get into your creative thoughts when writing the book. Like, I want to know that. I'm not a literature person. I don't like literature. It almost ruined me some way, somehow. But I'm really interested in the creative process of this specific novel because this one caught my eye.
Okay. You want to know about the creativity?
The creative process, yes.
Okay. Generally, maybe how it all started and why I brought the book up.
Yes.
This story became a compilation, if that's not a big word to use.
Okay.
A combination of different stories from observation. I'm generally a very quiet person, but my eyes are always searching. So I took one child and placed her in Mozambique, knowing that at the end I wanted to come to the cities. But I wanted her to experience some sort of discrimination, and it made sense to me as a Tsonga child to know that people from Mozambique are mostly discriminated, even by us. So the creative part of it said, the goal of the book is to teach someone to stand for themselves, but how do I come up with a story from this? So I named this child, as you see the cover of the page,
Yes.
Pinheiro Floresta Barreto. So those names come from Portuguese, and Pinheiro means pine tree. So the pine tree is there and it's bending. And then Floresta means forest. Barreto is just a surname from Mozambique that I picked. So pine tree, I was saying to the readers that be like a pine tree, that when it faces storms, it just bends, it never falls completely. So as an individual, never completely give up, just bend and always find a way to bounce back. And then for the forest, there's something thrilling about it. Nobody takes care of the forest, but somehow it's almost blossoming. So I was like, to the individual, learn to stand on your own. Don't depend on people. People can leave you at any time. But if you know how to stand for yourself, you'll always blossom regardless. And then there at the bottom of the corner, I placed the crocodile as part of the creativity to answer you.
Can see it, yes.
Yeah, so behind the crocodile, what I know is that if you've been to the river and have seen a crocodile from a distance, you'll actually relax and think, it's too far. But within a minute, it will be slowly coming closer to you and you'll just see it there. So I was saying to the readers, if really you maintain your focus in life, you will get to where you want to be. So I mixed up the encouragement part of it with that creativity from my observation to say, this is how I'm going to bring up the story to bring out the message to the readers. Hence, I titled it Expressions from Experiences to say, you'll always express yourself based on your own experiences, but never limit yourself. You always have a chance to learn from other people, to read books and become a better individual.
Okay, interesting. Very interesting. I love how you are narrowing it down. If someone has not read your book, the novel before, I think by now they have an idea. Through the way you explain it, you know your book, you wrote it. So I would really like to know. I can see the title of the novel is Expressions from Experiences. For those who, like, there's people who love reading, but sometimes, well, due to difficulties, they don't understand some things. I would like you to explain to me expressions, like you did explain, but I just want you to delve deeper into it. Go, expressions from experiences. What is it really like? Put it just plainly for anyone to understand.
Okay, I'll just give an example. There's a random example that says you can be standing on the other side, you're seeing a 6 as a 9, and I'm seeing the 9 as a 6, like different perspectives.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm saying that we're always going to see things differently based on our backgrounds. But because I see a 6 as a 9 and you don't see it like that, it doesn't mean that you are wrong, and it does not mean that I am right. It just means that we have different perspectives based on that reason of our upbringing. But we can always come to an agreement by at least trying to understand each other, where you're coming from, and I could learn something from that, and you can learn something as well. So these expressions are just that portion of showing your understanding of something and not sticking to say, this is how I know things and this is how they are going to be. There's always different views of why we express ourselves in different ways. So we should learn to understand each other as individuals. We come from different backgrounds.
Okay, so one's experiences is what they express, right? I understand that. I heard kuna lamga mention kona makaya discrimination. I already know two themes that the book follows, which is the matter of adoption and abortion, and now comes in discrimination. Can you please explain to the viewers these three themes?
Okay.
Just a little breakdown.
Okay, the theme of abortion. I'm sure you're talking about what I wrote at the back, right?
I didn't even see it. But somehow, I know it, somehow. I didn't look at the back. I didn't get time to read it.
Oh, that's smart.
Yes.
So the theme of abortion was the first concept that I introduced in the first chapter. So before everything happened, the main character came into the world out of a place where she was not accepted. She was considered a cursed child, or a cursed child, a child born out of wedlock. So the mother was tempted to abort. So that is why the matter of abortion came in the picture. So it helps build a stronger background of where the main character is coming from. So initially in the first chapter, she's not there. We're just talking about the background of things, of how her birth was not accepted, how abortion was negotiated, and all of that. So it helps bring in a better understanding of her background. And then when we go to adoption, she lost her caretakers. She had two. She lost them, and she had to be adopted. She grew in the hands of different people. That means she had a lot of expressions to reveal, because from different families, she's learning different rules, different lifestyles. And that is altogether confusing for a young child, because she never knows what is right and what is wrong. So she had to go through the battle of finding the right way for herself, by herself, on her own. She basically raised herself. So that's how the themes come together in this thing.
Okay, great. What you're talking about is someone's reality out there. So really, it is someone's experiences. But I would like to know, you as the author of this novel, how did your own experiences help you to express and led you to writing the book? I mean, your own experiences.
Okay. My own experiences are that I'm one of the cursed kids. I was born out of a wedlock scenario. So from observation and learning from others, I saw I'm not the only one. And I'm grateful I was able to pull out from that, because others never recover. And then when it comes to adoption, I was not necessarily adopted for me, but I had social workers. So I just generalized the idea to say, let's say these people had taken me in. Actually, there was a lot of negotiations around people wanting to adopt me. Apparently, there was a white. I used to look like an albino kind. My color is, I have a lot of colors. I just change with seasons. So there was a time this white lady I hear wanted to adopt me, and she negotiated with social workers, but my grandmother said, So I kind of imagine what would have happened if that had become a possibility. So I took my experiences and featured them there, and just went through with imagination and creativity and drew out a novel like that.
Okay, it's good to say that you, having studied, majored in languages, in education, I can say your kids that you're going to teach, or if you're already teaching them, are in safe hands, because the way you explain literature is very profound. I've read novels, even though I didn't want to, I had to. I didn't have a choice. But even today, I can't, illustrate to someone in this way, because already from your explanations, I already understand the book. I already know it, and I'm tempted. I think I'm going to buy it, and by the end of the year, I'm not going to say week, because I don't like reading. So I would like to know from you right now. These themes are based on other people's lives, like really. And in the book, we know that Imela is a 21-year-old who's pregnant, and pregnancy is a really big issue in our country right now. I just want to know your thoughts on that, like the whole situation. Even if you can link it to the book, it's fine. Just the whole theme of pregnancy.
Okay, extracting it from the book, Imela was coming from a very well-renowned family. They were a very, very wealthy family. They were a very highly regarded or highly esteemed family, so they were egocentric in a way. So all the children from that family were expected to do things right, morally so. So her pregnancy issue became, a big case to her father, to the point that he chased her away from home. And that affected Imela in a very serious way, because it affected her academics, it affected her love for her child, it affected her self-confidence as well. So I'm hoping that parents out there reading this book will understand that it's normal. When you have a daughter, find it normal for your child to fall pregnant. I mean, it's very normal. I know you can be disappointed, but think for your child. There are chances that after you overreact, your daughter might want to take her life away. So in the case of Imela, she also wanted to take her life away. She wanted to abort the child, which she would have killed a gift to the world. You never know what you're carrying. Your child might be someone like Nelson Mandela. So let's see children as gifts and not throw them out. I'm not encouraging that young girls should fall pregnant before or out of wedlock or anything like that, but let's not overreact. Find it in a normal sense. Be a parent. Understand that a child can make mistakes and just see it like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Besides writing, I don't know, I'm just thinking, you do something like, we call it spoken poetry. And there's something in which there's a clip of you talking about the call for peace and a call for forgiveness. Can you please take me through that? I'm guessing you are into art a lot, because that's part of art, and this is also part of art.
Yeah, I'm into art because art is a career that will never be outdated. You know, we are in a world of artificial intelligence, but the way I think to bring down a novel is not the way artificial intelligence would bring it, as in a human form like I would.
Yes.
So a call for forgiveness. There's I don't know if you mind if we can read the last portion at the back of the book so that I may explain. Just at the back.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
The last smallanyana statement here. This one.
Yeah, you can start in caught up.
Okay. Caught up in circles, Pine tries to figure out exactly what it is she is withholding on the inside. Could this thing be holding her back instead? Will she ever be liberated from such a dilemma?
Okay. So it says that Pine is going through something that seems to be troubling her on the inside. And we're wondering if she's holding on to it, or this thing is holding her from moving forward, and will she ever be liberated? But that's for the reader to find out in the book. So what I'm teaching about forgiveness is that when you fail to forgive another person, it withholds you instead. So I've been through that phase of unforgiveness, and what I saw about it is that I could not move on instead, and the people that I'm holding on the inside of me are affecting me in a way that they are progressing and I'm not. Yes. But the day I made peace with letting things go, that's when I actually completed the book, because it took me 5 years. So it means I was writing a book to people from a heart that is not forgiving. So that's the spirit I was going to pour out to people. So it's important to get healed first before you go out and speak to people, because in a way, when you're reading my book, you're reading my mind and you're catching as well my soul. So if there's no forgiveness, there's no way it's going to heal the reader. Hence, I say that I've dedicated the book to those people that are struggling from unforgiveness, so that through reading this book, may they heal. So on the theme of forgiveness, I was teaching that please forgive, because that is a favor for you, not the other person.
Very
and for peace, yes, it brings peace at the end of the day, and your mind is able to work well. You're able to accomplish your goals because there's nothing on the inside that is actually dragging you back.
I really like how this book is linked to you. I think needless to say, artificial intelligence cannot do this, because this is you. You're bringing it to us, and me and the next person can relate to the book. So now, I hear, Guri, it took you 5 years, right? And one of the challenges was that you were holding yourself back. What other challenges were there, or are there in general, when it comes to literature and being an author?
Being an author is challenging in a sense that you're not the only one who's trying to get your message out there. And you must know that whatever you're bringing out to the people, a lot more other people have written before. So you need to package the same thing in a very different way. So that's when it makes sense, when you link your personality to your work, so that it actually makes more sense than a copy and paste from elsewhere. Getting an idea to start a book, whatever genre it is, be it a novel, nonfiction, anything, it's easy to get your picture, the beginning. You might also have the ending, but to work through in the middle is the hardest part of writing, because you must make sure that your work is flowing. It has page turners. Page turners are what makes the reader want to flip on to the next page and go on without feeling like, I feel like I could just stop here. Yeah. And at the end of it, the whole publishing process is also expensive. That's one of the challenges that makes a lot of authors get discouraged, because funding is not necessarily easy to get approved. Yeah. So those are some of the challenges. And most of the publishers out there, I'm sorry to say, don't bring out what the reader actually wants. So there's a lot of clutches before you can actually get your book out there. I actually went through that as well with the book, where I could not get it into bookstores because they told me a whole lot of things, that your publisher didn't do this and this and that. So it's very challenging.
It's a dragging process. Okay, so now we have the novel, Expressions from Experiences. What's next for Muhluri Interest Mathebula? What can we expect?
Last month, I was fortunate to attend a business meeting, and I went to speak on behalf of authors. There's a guy from Momentum who said to me, turn your novel into a children's book. That was not part of the idea. I was thinking of politics. I'm writing something in the world of politics, but then when they said that, I thought maybe I can take a pause and work on children's books. So for next year, I think my readers should be expecting a children's version of Expressions from Experiences, of course in a different title, that will suit readers of 8 years plus, because literacy is very important. Kids need to start learning how to read from a very young age, so they grow up with it. Yeah.
Yes, that's a very good point, because in terms of literature, I think literacy, our country is very far behind. It's very far behind. So it's very important. The publishing of children's books should be priority to get them to be able to read, because some of these books that are just out there do not help with that. For bookworms out there who are going to be watching this episode, how can they get access to this gem?
So far, because I'm still on the way with distributors to get the book into bookstores, so far the book is still with me. I am only sending it through couriers, any of their preference, PEP, PEXI, Postnet, whatever they prefer. And the book is worth 250 rands.
Okay, so for those who would like to get into contact with you, whether it's for the book or just something in literature, because you know, in this world, whichever industry you're in, you need connections, and maybe there's someone that's going to watch and say, you know what, I want to work with her. How can they get in hold with you?
I'll just share my numbers.
You will just share your numbers. Okay, that's fine. Just before we end, what is it that you would like to say to people maybe who have been supporting you through your journey, and those who are still supporting you, and those who want to support you?
Firstly, to the people that are supporting me, here in studio, I'm with Gazatainment. She's one of my greatest supporters, and I'm grateful she's here. Shout out. So I really appreciate people that have supported me from the start of the book, middle to the end, because when I was working through the book, I would give people some chapters and say, how is this, how is this? So they gave me the encouragement to say, go on. That is really lovely. Even after launching it, a lot of people supported me. And it also went to Morning Live, the SABC.
Yes.
Yeah. So I got a lot of support as well from there on social media. Some people called me. So that is very much appreciated, because the more people show that they love your work, the more they give you the go-ahead to say, you can still do this. Plus, it's my first publication, so it's very encouraging. And those who want to support me, I will say, please tag along in the journey.
Yes, okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming and joining us today. Needless to say, as I say, literacy is in very good standing with people like you, people who think like you. I mean, not us who hate reading. You like to read and you like to write. And right now, I can say that people should just be ready for the children's books collection and all of that. And I'm wishing that after this interview, you get sales. You should get sales, because no one should come to Gazatainment and leave and the following day there's no movement. There should be movement. You should be able to call us and say, you know what, since the interview, things are going this way. And we would also be very happy to host you. And next time when you come again, we will be talking about bigger things, maybe even a publishing company or something. We want you to grow. We want to grow with you. Overall, thank you so much for coming and joining us and giving us your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Muhluri, you should not hold yourself back and hold other people back, because that only delays you and delays your success. Take it from her. It took 5 years to publish her book because of withholding herself. So don't do that to yourself, and please go and buy the book. From me and the rest of the Gazatainment team, we will see you on the next